to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Supervisor Jack Moore can be heard but not seen on camera using the phrase city cousins while discussing the Affordable Care Act.
I think that's how we're going to pay for your cousins in the city. I don't know what that's about. Well, you know what his cousins are in the city. You don't know about city cousins? You know all kinds of them. They fuss about it. Okay?
Oh my God, I never knew that.
Surveillance video outside the DPW building then shows an African-American man approaching the area where Moore and others are having the conversation.
This is one of your cousins. Yeah, that's one of your cousins.
I'm not a racist. That's what's so insane about this. I'm not a racist. That's what's so insane about this.
It's just a coincidence that you were talking about the Jack and Triumph show, and I'm here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith. Guy makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers One podcast. This is podcasting.
You're listening to Two Strangers One podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. Now, here's Chris Colon and Paul Pasquillo.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
And Paul, we just had an election. It turns out the people in Henrietta are more racist than we thought.
Yeah, and I don't understand why people take issue with that because, well, he is a racist. I mean, do I need to play, like, the video from 13 Wham 50 more times to get people to know that? I don't understand.
The guy in the video, and once again, I don't understand. It reminds me of the same thing like Hulk Hogan and a couple of other videos where he's being recorded, and then the video got released, but he didn't know he was being recorded. I don't know who was behind the video or what was going on, and, you know, and I think everybody would be in trouble if you filmed everybody when they weren't expecting film. I'm pretty sure you catch everybody saying something that can be considered racist. Because he had referred to, now, for those not familiar with politics or the general geography of Rochester, Rochester is a city, Henrietta is a suburb. It's on the edge, right, they're borderline to each other. So, but he had referred to people in Rochester as, he was referring to the people in Henrietta and then referring to the people in Rochester as their city cousins.
Right.
Which is
racist.
I mean, it's I don't know.
And then as a black guy is walking into the town, they're making fun of him and making it like even more clear that that's what they're talking about. So it's just like, so let me get this straight. So a racist is allowed to be the head of a town? It's just, I don't understand.
And he got voted in, so I mean the people knew. I mean, it's one of those deals where I think people.
Well, here's the problem.
I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I don't think saying city cousins is that racist. I mean,
I think he's racist. I'm sorry, but
I think he is racist. I don't think the indicator of him is him saying city cousins. I think he's racist just by being.
That's true.
A politician.
That's true. That's true.
But So I think, people who've been following the podcast will know that I've been talking about financial troubles. I'm still going through financial troubles because here I am recording in your house again, which once again, thank you for letting me come out and record.
It's a $500 bill, by the way, you're getting from me.
Oh boy. Internet fees and electricity fees. But I think I've decided to become a weed dealer.
Oh, you're going to be a weed dealer. This should be interesting.
Yeah, well, okay. No, here's
yeah, you might want to make that. I don't want my neighbors coming through the door asking what the hell is going on here.
Well, no, here's the deal. I was watching the news 2 days ago, and so they were talking about, now mind you, I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't really. They said, there's a job fair at the Kodak Theater on the Ridge, which, of course, here in Rochester, one of the big industries out here was Kodak. I mean, every couple of months, the news goes, Kodak is going out of business and the whole fucking town is going to sink into the ocean because Kodak is doing that great, because the big ones up here were Kodak, Xerox, Bausch and Lomb. So
Bausch and Lomb. What are you, Jewish now?
I say Bausch and Lomb.
Bausch and Lomb. Hello, Bausch and Lomb.
And so there's a company called Columbia Care, and they were having a job fair. Now, actually, when I'm like stressing out about money issues and stuff like that, so I hear, job fair. Okay, I'll give it a shot. But then watching the news and they say medical marijuana. So I'm like, okay. So it was the next day, and luckily, I mean, mean, it was a day I was supposed to have my daughter. Luckily, a couple things changed around, so her mother had her for the afternoon. So I said, all right, let me go to this job fair. It's my day off. I really don't have anything better to do, so let me go. You know, I guess I could sit in the library uploading podcasts, or I could fucking go actually try to get a job. So I went to this place, and it was the Kodak Theater on the Ridge. Now, when I got there, the quote-unquote job fair started at 10:30 and was going on until 4 o'clock. So I got there at 10:30 because I was trying to get there at 10, but of course, I'm going to be late for my own fuck funeral.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mr. Late over here. That's the next T-shirt we're getting you.
By the time I got to the Kodak Theater, Theater on the Ridge, I don't know why they call it that, but I mean, it's a nice building on the inside. I mean, obviously it has a lot of history. For years, it was a place where I guess they were doing the processing and a lot of kills. Like there were people who were saying about chemicals in that building. And
there was something about nuclear waste in there too, or there's a nuclear bomb or something. I have no idea.
Yeah. So the building itself, they're keeping it, and I mean, it's used to handling chemicals. I don't think they carry the chemicals there anymore, but
you better hope they don't.
It's going to be converted into a building that will now be processing the THC chemicals out of marijuana plants to be put into pills and oils and stuff like that. So when I got there, it took me about an hour just to get into the room out of the people in front. So I go and you get there, and of course, everybody there is online, people asking questions, and the guys in front of me were like fucking immature guys in their early 20s. Like one of the kids looked like fucking Tony Soprano's son, but he had like a porn mustache. Real fucking goofy fuck kids. The woman behind me was heavy set, like, yeah, I hope they have a couple jobs for us, you know what I mean? Mm. So, we're sitting in line. Then we finally get to the actual room itself. In the room, what they did is they'd set up a whole bunch of tables, and when you finally get to the front of the line, you're in front of these people with computers, and they're like, they get your name, they get your phone number and stuff like that. And then, they asked, because now I felt kind of like that. It's like, damn, I didn't bring a resume with me.
Right.
Now, mind you, I haven't updated my resume in 2 years. That's kind of my fault. But, once again, I just found out about it, the night before. So I didn't go to, I should have printed up a resume or tried to update it. I don't even know if I have enough ink in my computer, or at least, go shoot to Staples and fucking print out a copy. So you get in the room and you're waiting there. And so I would say the room had about 100 people in it, maybe more. Mm-hmm. And I sat there, like I said, I got there at 10:30, got in the room around 11:30, and sat around till about 3 o'clock when I get in it. So I fucking sat there for like 4.5, 5 hours, whatever, just waiting.
Were you at least like fapping while you were waiting?
Well, I mean, well, the good part, and then the actual CEO came out, a guy who, I believe his name is Bob Duffy, if I'm not mistaken. I'm wondering if he's any kind of relationship, because I know Bob Duffy's like a big name up here in Rochester. James E. Duffy was...
Well, I'm trying to think. I thought it was Bob Duffy was... he was the mayor, then he was the deputy, not deputy.
Well, maybe, he just happens to be, maybe it's not the same Bob Duffy, but, he's also...
It's probably somebody different, it's gotta be. Unless that's the same, I don't know.
Unless he's somebody, maybe he's a Duffy, but he came out and he spoke to us, and he's talking about how his mother had rheumatoid arthritis, and this and that, and he wanted to invest in marijuana, and how, marijuana is, a suitable substitute for people who take opiates for pain, mm-hmm. and that, they're not going to be producing anything that actually constitutes anything that would be quote unquote smoke. It would be all pill form or an oil form, like in a cream. And basically one of the big things they're going to use the bill for is that they're going to be growing marijuana.
Right.
And part of like when they were asking people applications, like they said if you want to apply to be like a grower. And I'm not a fucking farming person. I have no fucking clue mm-hmm. about that kind of that part of it.
Well, to speak on that real quick, I think that's kind of funny because there's probably marijuana growers around here.
Oh yeah, there are plenty. And the funny thing is, in that neighborhood, just go across the street, and I'm pretty sure you can find some professional fucking marijuana growers. Because that's not the nicest part of town. You go.
Oh no.
So then they said, but they are looking for security. They're looking for people that are customer service or sales representatives, people who actually work in the pharmacy. And once again, I have not named where I work yet, but I do kind of work in a corporate pharmacy. So I threw that in.
We're getting closer. We're getting closer to what he does. Yes.
Oh yeah. So, I did throw that in when I finally had like my 5-minute interview with the lady. I said, now mind you, like I said, I didn't get interviewed till like 3 o'clock, and the thing ended at 4, and you still have a room full of people. And they're like, oh, we promise we're going to see everybody in this room, and anybody else, they said, I forgot how they said, because one of the rumors was that if they didn't see you, they were going to give you a phone interview. But it was like right around the time I got interviewed, they said, oh, we're going to make sure we interview everybody in this room. And so you go, and I got interviewed, and I'm like, I work in a pharmacy now. I pretty much do exactly what you're looking for. Because what they're doing, and here's the funny part, is is they are converting an old bank, which is like right on the property. Some people say, I got conflicting reports. One person said it was the ESO. I heard another person say PNC Bank. Either way.
Well, yeah, either way.
They're converting an old bank into a dispensary.
Right.
And even the guy said it. He goes, we already have a bank. There's a vault, and
which is good, which is what they really need, honestly.
And so even and long story short, even if you're the fucking dumbest of dummies, they still have security. They need security.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say they probably don't. They have
they're gonna have 24-hour security.
Aren't they gonna have their own personal kind of army kind of deal? Because they're gonna have to have beefed up security for that kind of stuff.
Money's right, and it's funny because I'm the biggest anti-pot of the I don't.
Dude, I'm just
I don't drink.
I'm just
I'm
waiting.
the straightest fucking arrow on the planet, but I'm like Winston from Ghostbusters. If there's a steady paycheck, I'll believe anything. You know what I'm saying? How funny would it be if I ended up working for this medical?
Yeah, but it would be interesting to see if these. What was I gonna say? If it was going to be, I don't know, you were going to people would try to take the marijuana somehow.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, unfortunately, Rochester being as hardcore as it is, I mean, shit, people keep getting shot in fucking Rochester every day. We just had 2 more shootings. One shooting was close to where I live. The other shooting was next to where I work. So, with all the fucking crazy violence going on in Rochester, and now that you have legitimate fucking law-abiding marijuana sellers,
law-abiding,
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would feel weird. What do you do when the federal government shows up, fucking raids the place and shuts it down?
No, I think if you're a legal entity as part of the state, they're not going to come after you. What it is in California, they don't. California doesn't have places like this. Kind of they're not like this one's through the state. This one's state approved, state funding, everything else. The ones that are in California, however, and that you can see on Discovery Channel or whatever, it's one of their channels like that. It's one of those things that, you're not really growing it legally, so we're going to take all your pot.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. I have to upload my resume to them, and I'm getting conflicting reports because when he was giving, because I believe someone asked him how many positions are you looking, and I don't know if he said we're looking for 100 or we're looking for 400. I wish I could have clarified what he said. So if it's 100 people, I'm fucked. If it's 400 people, I think I'm good because
no, I think there's a lot of jobs, so I don't see that being a problem, to be honest with you.
And then I then doing a little research, I was watching some news reports, and somebody in the news said 250. So if it's either 250 or 400, I'm fuck old. If it's 100, I still think I got a good solid shot because I do work in a corporate pharmacy. And
what are you trying to be? Just a pharmacist?
I'll be the pharmacist tech
or security,
or I'll be security. Or sales rep. I'll be a sales rep. I mean, shit, I'll cut the fucking OT off. There's a fucking paycheck in it.
That's going to be a picture in itself.
Yeah, I mean, because I went to the job fair and I didn't realize how serious this was because there were people there in fucking suits and there were people decked out
well, dude, you show up in a suit, you're more than likely to get hired.
Yeah, and that should. But then it was also fucking super last minute. I just found out about it on the fucking 11 o'clock news, and I was like, okay, I'm off tomorrow, so let me go give it a shot.
So what else we got here?
So right now, how was your Halloween?
I worked.
That's right. Yeah, you worked. Let me tell you, mine, because, you posted a picture, your son was a Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, I went out and bought him $60 Ninja Turtle costume.
Oh, boy. Well, yeah, but I think my daughter's, her mom took care of the costume, but I think my daughter's costume altogether was between the dress and the wig and all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
And the makeup. Me being the horrible dad that I am, I waited till the last minute to get her shoes, which at the time they were like $15, but then by the time I went to Party City, literally on Halloween morning, they were reduced by they were down to $8. And then it was a princess because she was Elsa.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Which was, and then I got her a magic wand, which of course I knew she wasn't going to carry because your hands are going to be busy holding fucking bag of candy. But I saw the shoes and I felt bad because the shoes were so inexpensive. So I said, let me buy the ones.
Right.
Which is she could play around with that later on. And so, but let me tell you, now, this is one of the few years where Halloween's on a weekend, and you would think, everyone and their mother would be out partying, which, I guess they were, because when we went, now, every year, I've taken my daughter and her older stepbrother, or her older half-brother, I've always taken them into the suburbs of Rochester, places, it's called Irondequoit. So I've always taken them to Irondequoit, and quite frankly, I only have to hit one particular block, because once you go through this little loop, you hit about 30 houses that have candy, that have decorations up in candy. And that takes about an hour and a half if you're doing it correctly.
Wow.
And then you're done. And trust me, after an hour and a half, you don't want to do anymore. Fucking exhausted. And I've done this, a couple years ago, with her older brother. I did this shit rain. I did it in the snow. And this year, when the weather was okay, it wasn't that bad. There was maybe, usually, like I said, 30 houses. This was probably 10 to 12 houses. People are fucking getting cheap with their fucking... And this is in the suburbs. Like, you motherfuckers have cash to spare.
I mean, I can understand. I mean, people probably don't want to spend the money to do shit these days.
And then, well, that's the other thing is, actually, the other flip side is that I've noticed that area over the past couple years has slowly gotten more like kids from the city showing up. You know, by the time I definitely remember that the time I was leaving last year, not this year, last year when I left my daughter, like there were people there, and they show up with the baby carriages, and and then you got 15-year-old kids and the baby carriage. The 15-year-olds aren't even dressed up, and then the kids, the ones in the baby carriages can't even eat the fucking Snickers bar, but you're asking for 3 pieces of candy. Like the 15-year-old's asking for a piece of candy because he's 15, even though he's not even wearing a costume.
Right.
The kid, you have like a 5 to 10.
So yeah, that's probably why they did it,
which is legit. And then they go, "Oh, can I get a piece of candy for my baby brother?" And the one that's in the fucking carriage is like, that kid don't even have teeth yet. How the hell is he gonna eat a Snickers bar? Little greedy little fucking street cousins. So
yeah, that guy's not a racist, and you're saying that he's not a racist. Wonderful.
So Halloween this year. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had fun, but this year Halloween was a bust. It really was.
Well, you got to go into Henrietta now. Well, you got to go into the racist town of Henrietta now and get the stuff.
Well, I think next year, I swear to God, I think we're gonna do next year's gonna be more of the whole we're gonna do haunted hay rides, all that shit. I think instead of doing
the city Grease Ridge Mall does Halloween on one day too, so you should just probably do that.
Yeah, next year I think it's gonna be
I was thinking that I didn't understand why they just didn't do it this year, because I think that would be safer to do it at the mall than it would be to what I mean.
What to do what at the mall?
Just have trick or treating at the mall, and then because on Fridays and Saturday nights they have the curfew, so you're gonna have a lot of security anyway, so you might as well just do it.
Yeah.
It would make sense. Plus,
it gets people to the mall buying
yeah,
shit and
exactly. So.
And then after, maybe have a sign we'll be able to serve the first 100 kids, and after that, you buy, I mean, it's a cheap promotion for the store. You buy 2 4-pound bags of candy, take care of a couple hundred kids.
Yeah. I'm glad that nobody came around. Well, I don't think anybody came around here, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't home, so, and it's funny, I'm over here talking about people being cheap, but I wasn't. But I did buy candy. I mean, 1, because I'm a fat bastard, and 2, because it's before I picked up my daughter, because I was expecting, I got out of work, and there was going to be some time between the time I got out of work by the time I got my daughter. So I said, kids may come fucking knocking on my door. So I said, let's fucking buy candies ready. And of course, whatever I don't give out, I get fucking eat. I had some Snickers bites this morning. But, okay. And other news, the usual October nonsense. Mets lost.
Fuck the Mets.
What a big fucking surprise.
Nobody cares.
Fucking choked in the postseason. I mean, I'm not a sports fan. I am the opposite of a sports fan. But Sunday night, there's nothing on TV. Sunday nights, I watch Simpsons and Family Guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever's in between,
right.
Last Night on Earth, Bob's Burgers, whatever. They're not bad shows. It's just, I put it on Fox. I watch Simpsons and Family Guy. Well, this Sunday was there's no Simpsons, no Family Guy. Fox had the fucking Mets game, and there's nothing else on TV. Literally, trust me, I fucking flipped the channels 8 times. There's nothing on TV. So I put on the Mets game, and it was background noise. Here we are. It's the World Series. This is the best of the best of the best. I was still bored out of my fucking skull.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I
mean, there's not much to really talk about, but just, if the Yankees aren't in it, I don't watch it, so.
I mean, my thing is that, the big deal was the Mets pitcher, who was the guy who was striking everybody out. And I forgot, Warner, or whatever, I don't know. The long story short is that here's a guy who's at the top of his game. Well, what's the top of the game? The top of the game is to throw the ball so much that other people don't hit it. That's fucking boring. You know what I'm saying? I know sports, when you're watching the best of the field, you're watching a boring game. You're watching a bunch of guys getting struck out, boring as hell. And and the only reason it even gets slightly interesting is because they have the slow motion, and they have this wonderful 3D camera, and they're like, oh, here's the zone when he threw it, and I'm like, that fucking, I mean, I'm pretty sure the computers are all generating that, but I'm like, how do you know what the zone is? Especially with the way the camera's angled, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they have it all measured out. But the shit that blew my mind is that, when on game 1, when they had, the blackout, or the generator went down or something, and they were gone for, 10 minutes or whatever, there's no backup generator? Isn't this, the biggest fucking, I mean, at least for baseball fans, the biggest thing all year.
Yeah.
How do you not have a fucking backup generator? But,
yeah.
The Mets lost, and, I mean, coming from New York, that's, hurtful, but, I mean, it was just...
Nobody likes the Mets, so let's move on.
It just reminded me how fucking boring fucking baseball is. Even the best of the best baseball fucking boring as fuck. Okay. Okay, so it's NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, and I participated in it twice. And it's my first book, Double Jackpot, right there.
Oh, of course.
Then my second book, Odd I See Itself in the Road, which still needs heavy editing. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm playing with the idea of like maybe just recording it, like reading it, recording it. Like,
yeah, you could do that.
Book, like, you know, putting it as a, like maybe like a stranger.
Jim can help you with that.
You know, and then so I don't know, but for those, you know, there's a thing called National Novel Writing Month, and I've spoke about it on podcast. You sit in front of your computer for about an hour and a half, and obviously you do your schedule, and you just write. Shut up and just fucking write. Don't worry about what you're writing. Don't worry about character development. Don't worry about doing research. Just keep writing and writing and writing and writing until you have 1,500 words down for the night or more. Or if you're going to do less, then you make up for it the day before. Or if you do more the night before, then you do a little less the night after. And by the time the 30 days of November are up, you have 150,000 word document. Then from there you take it and you can, fatten it out to your book. But even, like I said, even Catcher in the Rye is 100,000 words, or it's less than 100,000 words. So, it is National Novel Writing Month. By the time that we're recording this on the 4th, so if you're like 4 days behind it.
So get to fucking writing.
Yeah, there's a book called No Plot, No Problem. Fucking changed my life. Like, I almost feel guilty by not participating in National Writing Month.
Shit, I don't even have any time to do that. But
yeah, I know.
Speaking of jobs.
Speaking of jobs, okay. Well, once again, talking about financial things being the way they are. Uber had a big rally up here in Rochester, and don't get me wrong. These companies. I'm pretty sure somebody's getting paid under the table. I mean,
probably
same thing with the medical marijuana. Somebody's getting paid. I mean, let's fucking be real here. And so they had a rally at the Blue Cross one.
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, now they had it in Rochester, but they're talking about bringing it up to quote unquote Western New York in general. Rochester is the center.
Yeah, Rochester's in the middle.
60 miles in the right direction. You got Buffalo 60 miles, a little more than 60 miles in the other direction. So, I mean, Rochester is the center. They want to bring it up here. I'm kind of psyched about that. Like, I would so do fucking Uber if they had it up here.
Well, my friend did Lyft, and Lyft was pretty, like, you could make a good living off of Lyft. But the part of the problem is there's, you got taxis, you got, what the hell is that other one? Like Red Apple or Apple Transport. You got all these other services out there that pretty much are going to push back on Uber as a service. And to be honest with you, I don't know. It depends on how the legislation goes through, because in other states, like if you go to like any big city, even New York City, but New York City sets kind of their own laws and everything. So yeah, like Uber, they have pretty much in like every big city. Like for example, in Atlanta, you can use this. Atlanta, they don't have like laws in other states where it allows you to have Uber because, they don't restrict it. Whereas like up here in New York, they have it so that way you can't, you have to have like a license or something. You have to have all these like special things to be able to do a taxi service. So what they're trying to do is, I'm going to guess that they're going to try to amend the law. But, if they're able to do that, then Lyft is probably going to come back too. So that's going to be interesting. So it's not going to just be Uber. It's probably going to be Lyft too.
Well, most of the cities that Uber's and Lyft also.
Right.
So, I mean, that's going to be no surprise. But what I don't understand, not that I don't understand. I mean, big issue, honestly, is insurance. Because if you get hurt in a car, that if you're doing an Uber.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, insurance. Yeah.
That's the big, and I'm really surprised that like people that hasn't been a bigger issue. I guess you don't really hear too many stories about accidents in Uber. I mean, you hear horrible shit like people get raped by the fucking Uber driver, But did you see that video about the guy that got attacked by like Taco Bell executive?
Yeah. Like he's in trouble.
And he got fired, if I understand it correctly. But when you watch the video, okay, first and foremost, like the guy had a dash cam on, so that was pretty cool. Because I had made it a joke. I'm like, I'm going to do Uber and run a camera to do like a taxi cab confessions kind of a deal. And I had said that like as a joke. But this guy, now originally he had his, which I guess, I mean, you could still get audio off it because it was pointing towards the street. And, once again, he's using it as a dash cam. Once again, you can use the dash cam footage for insurance reasons in case, a guy runs a red light or something. But I guess the guy, he was picking up the Taco Bell executive, and that guy was drunk as a fucking. And he'd say, "Oh, take me to such and such bar," and then like the Uber driver was like, "Well, you have to give me directions." And then the passenger was so fucking drunk that he was like, "Oh, it's over here," whatever. And then like, so the cabbie knew shit was about to go down because he turns the camera around and he points it towards him and the passenger, and he keeps telling the guy, "Oh, that's it. You gotta go. And don't get me wrong, the taxi driver. When you're using Uber is an app on your fucking phone. Get on your fucking phone and fucking Google Maps. collapse that shit, you know. And you know, so, you know, place, I highly doubt that, you know, in this day and age, there's no place you can't find him, especially if it's a bar. And so, don't get me wrong, the cabbie was being a little bit of a fucking punk. Don't get me, so let's strike. And of course, but then again, the only thing that sucks is that Uber, you've already agreed on where you're going to drop someone off, and I don't know if this is outside of what their original agreement was, but, you know, the guy's like, oh, you gotta go, you're drunk, I'm ending this ride, you gotta go,
you can, the driver can actually end the ride.
He can, but the way he was going about it was being a little punch. And so then, and you know, and don't be wrong, the guy's drunk as fuck, he doesn't want to get out of the cab. So as the guy's getting out of the cab, he starts to yell. I mean, real, you know, sucker punch bullshit, you know, real punk. Once again, now the drunk assholes being the punk, because, you know, if you're gonna fight, say, let's fight, fuck sucker slut, you know, like from behind, you know, and so then the cab driver fucking maces him, and then, which I guess, you know, that's one thing. Like, I mean, if I was gonna do Uber, I'd have to carry what I can. I mean, at the very least, mace or something.
Well, I would probably do it, and like, for example, like we're in Irondequoit right now. If I was to do Uber, I probably would not do it anywhere near the city.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is that that you could, now the way if I understand Uber correctly is that it depends on where you are as to what passenger they hook you up. So obviously, if you're sitting in a city, they're gonna, you know, and a person in a city wants to ride, you know. But then again, you also have the option of not taking a fare. You don't have to. You could hit no, and then it'll go on to the next person. But so obviously, you know, you don't want to go pick up your city cousin. You can go and hit no.
I think we found the name for this episode.
And so if you don't want to pick up your city cousin, you know, and you're like, no, I'm not driving to Avenue D. Oh no, I'm not driving to Clinton Avenue.
No, fuck that shit.
You know,
no.
So you know, you could pick and choose. I mean, you know, the one thing is Rochester does have, it's a college town, so I mean, this is an app younger people use. I mean, you know, you can go to places like South Wedge. I mean, that's a pretty young hipster neighborhood, you know, where people don't really have cars and stuff like that. Like, I think, you know, or the college part of college town, or, you know, like that, there's parts of this neighborhood, there are parts of Rochester that, you know, I wouldn't mind picking people up or taking them, you know, to. But,
right.
You know, it's also, you know, I mean, there's also the risk of, you know, getting punched. I mean, obviously, this guy he picked up was a fucking white guy. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Getting punched in the throat.
On the side of the face by some drunk asshole. So I would have to probably get a weapon if I was going to Uber. You know, and mace isn't bad, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, can't just walk away with that shit. Mace is on forever. Not forever, but it's a bitch to wash off. Alright, so with that, I think we'll be back with more Dick and Fart jokes.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. Pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-n-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com.
And now for listeners of Two Strangers, One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
Okay, Paul, so we're back.
Nerdy news time.
Nerdy news! I think one of the internet is all abuzz, and here we are.
And they're buzzing outside, but yes.
Yeah, and as soon as we got the air conditioner, the heater to turn off, and all of a sudden they're fucking weed whacking outside. But c'est la vie, so is the way of the world. We are a little more than a month away from Star Wars coming out. Mm-hmm. And I'm really surprised because when the last movies came out, they released like novelizations of movies.
I think they're keeping it. Well, remember, this is Disney. So.
Yeah, they are really playing they're playing their cards close.
Like, even the trailers are not very descriptive, which is a good thing.
But I mean, like, because I remember when The Phantom Menace came out, and I was 99, and I remember, like, the tickets went on sale, I want to say, like, in April, like, 2 months before the movies. Oh, no, I'm sorry, May. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. The movies came out in May, because they were trying to keep the tradition of releasing Star Wars movies like they did, like, in the 70s and the early 80s. The movie came out in May. I was reading the novelization, like, it was a couple, because I had some friends come over, and they were staying over, and because we had, like, 2 different computers, and, like, we were gonna, a time when high-speed internet was, like, a deal,
Right.
One of us is going to get the tickets on one of our computers. So I remember, like, those 2 days or so, like, I was reading the novelization, like, when I was, like, super in Star Wars fever. They have it, like, I mean, okay, like, they have tons of fucking merchandise, and I've seen like one little. I saw this cute little like magnetic toy playset or whatever, and it's sort of like it's a book. And part of me wanted to buy it to be like, maybe it'll tell us anything about what the fuck's going on.
No. Well, okay, so as one of my employees at the movie theater pointed out, this isn't anything that's happened after episode 6 that was either in a game or in a book or whatnot. Which most of the books were never canon, but none of that is canon.
All of it's thrown out. There's no Mara Jade. There's no Jedi Academy. There's no Remnant.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what it is yet.
They may pick and choose. They may go, oh well, this is a good idea. We're going to keep it.
I have a feeling like the Empire is going to be called the Remnant now. I can't see them not being called the Remnant.
Because it's like when you play like the video games, The Force Awakens. The main character, I forgot his first name, but his last name was Starkiller, which was because originally in like the original draft of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker was Luke Starkiller. But now, when you watch the movie, now they call Starkiller the base. The new quote-unquote Death Star is called Starkiller Base. So they're not going to have a character named Starkiller if the base is named Starkiller. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, the names are still kind of like they're paying homage to Star Wars past, but not in the way that the extended universe, meaning the video games and the books and the novelizations and the.
Well, I guess. Well, here there's a couple problems with this, and we'll get to obviously what we're leading up to here. Mm-hmm. First of all, there's a problem with this whole thing, and that's that this movie's taking place 30 years after the events where the Emperor was killed and Darth Vader, died and whatnot. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, which, obviously Disney did that so that way they can be like, ooh, look, we can make more movies, which I'm all for that. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do. They can fill in the blanks. But obviously we're leading into what the problem is on the internet, and a lot of people are, because Luke Skywalker hasn't been on the poster and really hasn't been seen in these trailers, the thought process is that he is Kylo Ren. Did I say that right?
Yeah, everybody, that's the thing floating around the internet right now. It's like, oh, the reason you don't see Luke Skywalker is, because the poster, this is internet theorists. The poster does have Luke Skywalker on it because you see Kylo Ren on it. So that's why Luke Skywalker is on the poster, because Luke Skywalker is Kylo Ren.
And their explanation is, and it's really funny because the explanation for this is, Luke never went through the whole training to be a Jedi, so therefore he's the bad guy.
To fall into the Force. And I'm trying to find what happens right now. Like as we're recording this, I'm like on my Facebook page, because what got me the most about the trailer, and I forgot to mention this the last podcast, was that I said when you have Han Solo, you see him talking to Rey and to Finn, and he's like, it's true, all of the Jedi Sith. And so people are like, my thing is that, like, really, was that okay? Here we go. I found a comment, because I had asked. I said, what's the deal with why are the kids like Finn and Rey? Why are they saying why are they acting like this is a surprise? I had thought that in the original trilogy that when Emperor Palpatine died and Darth Vader died, it was the end of the Empire, but I thought that there would be a fucking galaxy-wide celebration. There'd be people.
Right. Well, there was at the end of episode 6.
They show a celebration. We got the fucking Gungans, we are free, So then a friend of mine, which I haven't had, I want to look it up. He says read Aftermath. So I don't know where, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Aftermath is. I don't know if that's a book or a comic book, but I'm kind of curious on. Okay, then the other guy who responds is basically talking about the canon, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you saw there was a celebration on Coruscant. There was Coruscant. The Blocks was celebrating. Like I said, the new editions, even the fucking Gungans were celebrating. But like I said, I thought this was like a galaxy-wide fucking celebration once they died. Right. It would be like, oh, look, the evil fucking Empire, the people that were terrorizing us are now dead. Death Star is dead. Death Star is gone for the second time. Let's celebrate. And when you see these kids go, when Han Solo's like, it was all real. The Sith, the Jedi, it's all real. I'm like, okay, then that means these kids don't know what the fuck. But then again, I made a joke as damn millennials. Like kids don't respect their fucking history.
Right, and we'll see, and that's the thing that's interesting is
she lived. Obviously, they show. Not to cut you. I'm sorry. They show her living on like a bullshit little fucking desert planet or whatever.
Well, I think that's Tatooine probably, because if you remember, like there's a Death Star, or not Death Star. There's a Star Destroyer in the middle of the desert there, where they're like we're already destroyed and shit. So I mean, I think what's happening is there's still a war going on. I think that they're still fighting these people, but there's no Jedi involved. And there again, I honestly, if the Jedi are in the background and there's no the Jedi haven't come into play, maybe that's why Luke is in hiding, is because he's training all these Jedi and everything. But, obviously there's that theory that he was Kylo Ren, and the reason he was Kylo Ren was because he never went through the full the Jedi training, even though him basically pushing away from the dark side, from not, from resisting the Emperor, and actually being like, look, I'm not going to be like my father. I'm doing what I'm going to do, and that's it. That pretty much tells you that he's a Jedi. So I don't understand why people are thinking about that, because I was thinking about that today, but I wanted to flip the script on that, and I've said this on Facebook, is I don't think Kylo Ren is Luke Skywalker. I think that Kylo Ren is actually the son or daughter, because we don't know if this guy, it's played by a guy apparently, but we don't, I mean, let's just say it's a guy. I'm not saying that it is, but obviously if it's played by a guy, it should be a guy. Yeah. This could be the son of Leia and Han Solo, because here's the other thing. You people seem to forget that Leia has the Force powers as well. She doesn't have the skill nor the, we don't know that yet because we haven't seen the movie, but she doesn't have the training like Luke Skywalker has. But you have to assume that this guy, that, they had a kid and, he had the powers, and he started using these powers, and, Luke saw this and went, no, I need to train this kid and make sure that he doesn't turn into some fucking Darth Vader. Oops. Oh, turned into Darth Vader. Because it does make sense, and I think this is where this theory about Luke Skywalker being Kylo Ren comes into play, is here's in the trailer, and I think it was in the first trailer, and it was in this trailer, there's the mask of Darth Vader, and he's kind of like, I don't want to say like he's like obsessing over it,
he said,
but
I'm going to finish what you started, or something to that effect.
So, to me, if it's not Luke Skywalker, which I don't think it is,
no.
I think it could be like the son of Leia and Han Solo, because come on, that makes sense.
Well, and that's where you, because the other theory that someone hit me to, and I thought it was fun, it was rather interesting, is that his name is Kylo, Kylo, not like KYGL, like Skywalker, second and third letter in Skywalker, Skywalker, KY, and Lo as Solo.
Right.
If this kid, because technically Leia, okay, in the movie she's Leia Organa because she was her adopted parents' name were Organa, but she's Leia Skywalker.
Yes.
Leia Skywalker and Han Solo. Parents, Kylo could be a mixture of Skywalker and Solo.
There you go.
And then, because they've said it a million times that Ren is a title. The way Darth was a title, Ren is a title, just unfortunately, in this order of Sith or whatever, or whatever the hell, whatever the Knights of Ren, they put Ren at the end of their name. So Kylo could be a mixture of Skywalker, Solo, and then Ren being, his rank, which, we're used to ranks being in the first part of the name, but, this is a galaxy far, far away, so it's
right, and this could be a new breed of Sith, too, so
Kylo Ren.
And, I think, obviously, that black guy is going to be a Jedi, because he's wielding a lightsaber, so obviously at some point he's going to be a Jedi. Like I said, I think that if the Jedi, and again, it makes sense that the Jedi would be involved somehow. Like, it makes sense that maybe Luke Skywalker's been in hiding and training this secret order of Jedi on another planet, because there was one of the games has Luke Skywalker has the Academy on another planet. So it would make sense to me that, okay, Luke Skywalker has been in hiding and training this new Jedi Force. And what they've said is this Jedi Force, unlike the other one, will not interfere unless called upon. So
the way that Jedi should have been.
Right. So instead of them being involved in everything,
Coruscant, like not sitting in Washington DC and shit.
Right, and they're not. See, that's the thing. Like, they're not involved because, see, that's the thing. Like, the Jedi actually started, relying on the stormtroopers, and their reliance became too much, and they actually died because of it. So now, what they're doing is they're saying, look, we're not gonna. and this is just a theory, obviously, like, they're waiting, because they know the Sith are gonna return. Now that a Sith has returned, time to kick shit into high gear and let's go fuck up the Empire.
Yeah.
You know, so...
Come out of our cave or wherever the fuck we were training. Come out of the swamps and fucking start killing motherfuckers.
So let's get to these other things and then get on out of here.
Let's see, what else? What have we got? Okay, so last week, I missed it this week, but I missed it because I was watching something else. You know, they had, unfortunately, I don't know whose fucking bright idea it was to put Supergirl on at 8 o'clock when Gotham is also on at 8 o'clock. I mean, I don't know, things might be different in other states or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But in New York, Gotham is on Fox at 8 o'clock, and then Supergirl is on CBS at 8 o'clock. Now Supergirl actually has like it's the highest, most watched pilot this year.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so Supergirl is the most watched pilot this year out of every show that has aired in 2015. But now you have episode 2, where I mean, because there was a lot of backlash. I thought it was a good pilot. I'm glad that it was a light show. That when you take a show like Arrow or like Gotham, which are very, very dark, or Daredevil, all of those shows, as great as they all are, as great as Daredevil was, it's a dark fucking show. When Daredevil was out, and go back a couple of podcasts and listen, when I was watching, you could only watch like 2 episodes in a row. That fucking show was depressing. It was good, it was fantastic, and it was violent, but you could, in my opinion, after 2 episodes, I needed a fucking break. At least Supergirl was light and airy, and it's the same deal like the Flash. One of the things that's making Flash, like in my opinion, one of the best shows, and fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've just stopped watching altogether. Flash is so good because it's airy, and it's not airy. I mean, it does have a few light, teeny tiny dark parts, but then it goes back to being kind of funny and light.
Right.
I haven't watched Arrow, but I keep hearing that Arrow was so dark, and League of Assassins and the fucking Lazarus Pit and all this other shit. It's real dark, they're like, it's always filmed at night, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but after a while that shit gets fucking sad and depressing. Let's good. I'm glad Supergirl is light. I'm glad if they use a dark Supergirl, that would not feel right, And there are people who are saying that this half-an-hour pilot was fucking better than the Man of Steel movie, as in keeping in theme with what the character is supposed to be about, and not what it was. Now, here we are, week number 2, and unfortunately, they said
the ratings went way down.
The ratings super dipped on Supergirl, and actually we're getting good for Gotham. Now, Gotham's actually getting kind of interesting because as the last
they shouldn't have.
Like the Riddler, the Riddler becomes more of the Riddler. I guess would be the better way. Like we finally see the Riddler, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but the Riddler finally fucking reaches like his snapping point, comes and then the whole storyline going on right now with the Penguin. That's kind of interesting. I mean, and they're sort of hinting at the Court of Owls. It was a storyline from a year or 2 back by Greg Hulu and Snyder. I forgot his first name, but talking about there's these people who they kind of ran Gotham way before the Waynes did, and they kind of have a beef with Bruce Wayne, and then they kind of figure out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and they kind of trap Batman and all this shit. So they haven't officially said it. They keep hinting that this guy, he's the guy that's fighting the Penguin right now, and he's running to be mayor of Gotham. He's a member. He's a family member. He is a part of the Court of Owls, and he's trying in the long and short way to fucking 1, take over Gotham, and 2, kill Bruce Wayne.
Well, he's also trying to. Well, the Court of Owls also are eliminating bad guys too, because they want to be the ones ruling, not letting them try to take care of things too. So. And that's part of the reason why they're good in one sense, but they're bad in the other because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So they're fighting the Penguin. So the Penguin storyline is interesting. The Riddler storyline just got a lot more interesting. They had fucking Firefly past Firebug or whatever you want to call him. Well, not even him. They made it into a girl. Not trying to spoil it for anyone, but they brought her. Let's take a character and make her fucking. Let's take a character and make it the hot chick as opposed to which actually and then what they did was they actually had the original Firefly, but then he that's not really out. I'm not really spoiling anything, but he dies and his sister takes up mantle. So they said, okay, look, at least we're gonna have this fucking character. At least have it be a hot chick. So I mean, is it a show that has a weird vibe because he was trying to be serious, or if it's trying to be goofy, if it's trying to be dark, it's trying to be surreal. But I mean, it's definitely has its footing. And once again, like I'm glad Supergirl. Okay, Supergirl is dark, but Supergirl's light. But I mean, thank goodness it should be light as opposed to fucking all those other dark shows that are out there. But so yeah, and I think it's a stupid idea. Something they need to move Gotham to 9 o'clock. But then again, I mean,
they'll probably end up moving Supergirl back because that would make more sense. I think.
Or move Supergirl to like, or move it to Thursdays, like where you have like Big Bang Theory and then Supergirl.
Yeah.
Because the Big Bang Theory always, that's a good lead. One, I mean, any show that that follows Big Bang Theory, or you get Big Bang Theory, Supergirl, then go into fucking Moms or whatever shows on CS on Thursday. And I mean, Heroes Reborn. Speaking of Thursdays, I mean, I've been trying to watch it. I've watched the first 4 episodes. I think they're on episode 6 now, whatever. And I don't know. It's not as good as it used to be, and I'm trying to enjoy it, but it's just they're trying to capture lightning in a bottle again. It's just not working. And then also on The Flash. I mean, this was already released online, and if you were, it's not really spoilers, but they had King Shark. He's in the last fucking 3 minutes of the episode, and it's a big giant computer generated monster of a dude, with a fucking shark's head. I just thought that's and they mentioned Killer Frost, and it's funny. Here's all these characters that they're slowly, parts of the Suicide Squad. They got the movie coming out, and I mean, of course, the animated movie kind of brought a lot of these characters to spotlight,
right?
But now they're starting to show up in other things. Like I said, Flash. They mentioned that. Well, they mentioned the Doctor that played Killer Frost, and actually, I saw a leaked set photo of her, which she looks good. They got fucking King Shark, so that's just fucking awesome. And so, I mean, I just like the fact that they're fucking being bold enough to give us fucking King Shark and fucking Killer Frost on TV shows. And also just to make sure, those who are following podcasts, if you don't follow us on Twitter or anything like that, or Facebook, not all the interviews,
everyone except one are up.
Yeah, all the interviews all but one of the interviews are up. You have the George Christic, Eric Calderon video interview. You have the Justin Rojas video from Funimation. You have the Logic Steve Bloom interview is up, and then you also, which has over 2,000 views, which is fucking
it's over 3 now.
Oh, 3,000 views.
Yes,
and which 3,000 people have seen my glorious fucking bald head
and
beard, and the Sky Blue interview, which is
and it will, and hopefully it'll get some more views, but it is what it is.
And
but yeah, make sure you guys go check those out. You can search for them on YouTube, and of course, if you look at Chris's Facebook page, which all of you probably do you'll see them there.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll have just Geeky Ink Productions.
Yeah, it's geekyink.com. They're all there. There's the one there, and then ToonamiFaithful.com. They're there as well. So just look for New York Comic Con interviews, and they'll pop up for you.
Yeah. So please visit. Let's wrap this thing up.
Thank God.
That's what she said. You can visit twostrangersonepodcast.net, where you find all things show related. You can find links to our iTunes page, where you can go back and listen to almost every episode. But you can go back about 2-3 years and listen to old episodes up to the most current, as the one you're listening to right now. And you can subscribe to us on iTunes, so whenever you sync up your iPhone, your iPad, or iPod, you get the newest episodes whenever they come out. And if you don't have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, you can use us on the Stitcher app. That's STITCHER. And one thing I kind of learned the hard way now that I don't have data in my house, when you use the Listen Later option, make sure you put your Stitcher in offline mode, then use Listen Later, because then what you do is then it downloads your episodes right to your device. So when you're not in a Wi-Fi area, you can actually listen to them. Now, of course, if you want to use your data, go right ahead. You can download the episodes. You're that person, you have the luxury of using your data, then feel free to use Stitcher at any given time. But what I like to do is when I'm in a Wi-Fi spot, I'll download all the episodes I want to listen to, and I'll listen to them later on when I'm at home or running my errands or whatever. Use the Listen Later option. Once again, put it in offline mode, then listen later if you want to use it the way I use it, where you use it where you're not killing your data, you're not killing your battery. But it is a fantastic app. I just, like I said, I make the most advantage of it without wasting my data, because fucking AT&T is trying to fuck me up the ass with fucking golden dildo. Let me see what else. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast, all spelled out. Of course, we want your money, we like your money, we need your money, but if you don't have any money to give us, it takes you 2 seconds to like our page or to share our page on your page, because everyone in the fucking world has a face page now. So feel free to like the whole page, like the episode, share the page, share the episode, share every little fucking link you find on Two Strangers One Podcast. Thank you for all the new likes. I've been trying to be as active as I can be, even though I don't have my internet connection. But when I'm in the library, we have been getting new likes on the page, so that's fucking awesome. Welcome to all the new listeners. I checked last night our email. Still haven't heard from Oscar, so I don't know what the hell happened to him. If you can find us on Twitter at Stranger Podcast, a little @ Stranger Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitter. And basically, that's a kind of a retread of our Facebook page anyway. And it's also where you can find our YouTube page, where you can just go to YouTube. Now, I need 100 subscribers to get to, so I can have a custom URL. So I gotta start asking, if you have a YouTube page, basically if you have an Android phone, you can search So if you have a Gmail account, basically that means you have a YouTube account. So you can go, and if we can get more people to subscribe, because unfortunately, even though people have been watching the videos and get very few subscribers, so if you can go to search for Two Strangers One Podcast and subscribe, that would be fucking awesome. Because if you are active on YouTube, you get to see all the new videos, and if you aren't, it's still doing the show a favor. So please subscribe to us on YouTube. And I'm trying to think. And if you want to write to us, like Oscar has, even though we haven't heard from him in a while, you'll write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. That's twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. I can't think of anything else. We ask for you, sir.
All right, well, you can find me on Twitter as usual at Paul Pascrillo, and also on Instagram, instagram.com/Paul Pascrillo. And of course, you can ask me questions. It's ask.fm/Paul Pascrillo. So use all that. Make sure you go to geekyinc.com and like and follow all of our social media because we need more followers. So please do that. That's it.
That's it. And of course, like what I forgot to mention is while you're on Stitcher, you can check out Paul's other baby, the Toonami Faithful podcast. So check that out. And I think that's about it. So we certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Bye.
All the time. Every day. 24/7.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne? Smells good to me.
But
look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I got to meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia is spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
yeah,
man.
Is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it, that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could sell them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonePodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.